top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back to live coverage here on Kart Chaser, the first official session for this year's SuperKarts USA Winter Series. Micro Swift on the racetrack. My name's Rob Haddon, joined here by Kart Chasers Xander Clements, Trinity Karting Group, the sponsor of the Micro Swift class. A couple of laps in the books here. Xander will give them some time to build some heat into these tires, these Avinco tires. Obviously a little cooler than we expected, but as you said, with all the weather that we had, all the rain that we had, this track has lost all the grip that we had built from yesterday and throughout this week's practice session. So we'll see which drivers start to step it up as we start to finally get some heat into the tires.
Right. I mean, not only that, this week's practice sessions, but the entire test weekend from last weekend here. Again, as you mentioned, Rob, where drivers can come out 4 days a week, along with private testing if they want, as many as 7 days a week here to come and turn laps at AMR Motorplex without rental cars because they have a separate rental car facility here. So the track builds up a lot of natural rubber. And again, as you mentioned, heavy rain overnight, and this morning completely washed it all out. So way different racetrack. And what a turnout here. We don't know any driver that could really stand out, but there are a lot that very well could, because there are 37 micro slopes, which is obviously very, very healthy for the sport. Awesome to see.
And as an announcer, you'll back me up on this. It's always interesting because there's so many drivers we haven't seen before. So these, if we butcher any names here to start this weekend off because you're potentially new to the program, feel free to come and fill us in. We'd love to make sure we pronounce the names correctly. Couple laps in right now, and it looks like Justin De La Cia up top right now with a 60.597. Fast lap we see so far. Jackson Porter into the second spot. Luke Giglio into third. Eli Steinbrook in fourth, and Bowen Green now rounding out your current Fast Five.
Right, again, as we were talking here, a couple kids that are going to be moving up the order with some of the top of the lead pack moving out. Luke Giglio's had some good runs throughout 2021. It was near the midfield, had a heat race wreck at Supernats. Bowen Green as well, another driver that's now looking on his sophomore micro season. Again, that's what you talked about. Year 2, year 3, that's when they seem to figure it out. The nerves are gone away, especially if you've already been to all the racetracks before and racing at those events before. You know, because when you come to an event like this, 225 entries here at SuperKarts USA Winter Series Round 1, it's daunting.
Well, the thing, too, like I say, the drivers that stand out and win races, they had that year or two where they didn't run in the top 5. Maybe they were running in the top 10. So every year, as drivers graduate up, another driver gets an opportunity to kind of step to the forefront, step into the spotlight their year to be able to win some races and potentially challenge for championships.
Yeah, we're already seeing quite a few drivers here that have spun on screen right just there for a moment was the number 97 of Stephanie Miller, but already checkered flag coming here. Now, for all these classes, as big as they are divided in 2 groups. So again, we're watching the first group, which was their bottom half from final practice from happy hour yesterday. So they're going to come across the line here, complete their session, begun here with the number 52, and that is Eli Steinbrook in the PK Sports North America Parolin chassis, headed down through turn number 1. Checkered flags, of course, led by Aaron Likens, the Skusa head flagger. Man, he does obviously a great job every single time. It's great that we got him on camera here this year.
Yeah, you think about this. This is Aaron Likens. He's been the SuperKarts USA national starter for over 10 years. He's also the starter for the IndyCar program as well. Flagged the Indianapolis 500 last year, so we've got a dignitary here on the flags for sure. You had mentioned Steinbrook. He ends up P4 after his session. Jackson Porter with the fastest lap time, 58.389. Porter setting the provisional pole time, but as you had mentioned, the faster drivers from yesterday afternoon's session, they're the ones that are going to come out next. We expect to see a lot of speed out of them.
Yeah, definitely. And again, there's still a lot of names in that group. Jackson Gibson's a driver who started to have a breakout year at the end of 2021 over the summer with RPG, so he's in the fast group. Sammy Martinez was one of the local drivers I mentioned. Just started racing in 2021, was at the top 4, battling it out in about a 20-plus kart mini field on the micro field on the regional level here at SSKC.
That's awesome.
So that's one I've got my personal eye on. Rocco Simone, big-time win in Daytona Kart Week. So he could be another one. Again, there's so many drivers that could be quick. We couldn't even we felt the whole qualifying session listing them.
Well, listen, you're early in your announcing career, Xander. This is how I feel old. So Rocco Simone is from Ontario, lives now down in Tampa. I used to cover his father, Anthony, when he was a cadet karter back in Ontario. So,
man.
Yeah, I'm into the second generation now, and it's exciting. But, yeah, he's super quick as well. Like you said, was very strong in Daytona. I want to keep an eye on Ashton Woon as well on the Nitro kart. I think he'll be good. Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA. There's a couple of drivers that we expect, I think, to see running up front.
Oh, without a doubt here. Truchot, his second micro season as well. Both drivers that were impressive. Truchot especially super impressive in 2021. He's not borderline on age about moving up. They were just borderline. They thought their results were decent enough. We could probably do okay in mini, but he is
and I always want them to stay.
Young.
I always want them to stay. Give your driver the opportunity to stay that next year. Even though you think they could move up, keep them for that year so they learn how to win races. They learn how to battle for championships. That's part of the career, the development ladder, in my opinion, is being able to learn not just how to drive, but also learn how to win, how to lead a championship, how to lose that lead, and then fight back for it as well. I think that's something that Ryan Norberg would tell you for sure. You got to learn all the ins and outs of trying to battle for a championship.
Oh, it's massive. Battling for a championship and even battling for race wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big step, and it doesn't look like it because it's one or two positions to go from consistently finishing second or third to sealing the deal and out battling everyone. And as we watch down the backstretch here, they were sent out in order from final happy hour results. So you're seeing on your screen Alessandro Truchot and Benja Fernandez, two locals here, both of them grown up here in Miami, Florida, racing against each other here at AMR Motorplex since Kid Kart. And the rest of the field cycling on by. You see that new grass section we were talking about in that early segment. Already got some standing water, a little bit of mud there, so definitely don't want to go off in the final corner.
And that's something we're going to watch for the driver going off right there. We actually saw Sebastian Weldon get into the wall here in warm-up, do that same thing, getting off into that grass. It's not an area where you used to be able to carry so much speed through the corner. If you went wide, you were fine. With that grass, though, you're going to lose control of the kart. You have to keep it on the racing surface. And those rumbles, they're aggressive rumbles, as you talked about.
They are, especially, again, down by turn number 1. It doesn't necessarily look like it kind of bows down, but it really does. So over there, it'll hold even more water in the center of that 10-foot wide patch over down by turn number 1. We'll get a closer angle on that as we go through the show and continue to show you guys around the racetrack here. Down the backstretch this time to put the first lap in the books. Benja Fernandez passed Alessandro Truchot very quickly. Oh, and a little bit wide there across the line. Woo, sending it deep. But hey, you know what? He kept all four wheels going. He'll clean them off. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I always say you don't know where the edge is until you drive over it, right? So he's definitely pushing Fernandez on it. Another driver getting a little wide.
Whoa.
Yeah, somebody hit the barriers here a bit.
That is Mikey Collins, I believe, in the number 30. Oh, no, that's 23. One of the 23 Trinity Karting Group entries.
The 23 going around. Still Jackson Porter P1. That was Kai Mars. Coming out of the final corner, and he's not happy with that at all. Obviously not able to get a time in going across the barrier, actually losing the chain off that machine as well. So a little bit of trouble there for Mars and the Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic machine. Mars will come in here. Jackson Porter still with the quickest time so far, a 58.389. Benja Fernandez, you talked about him, first driver out on the racetrack in the number 12, able to go P2. So the fastest of the group so far, just starting to build some heat in the tires, Xander. 59.086 for Fernandez.
Yep, and here they come across the line for lap number 2. A lot more put together for Fernandez, 58.719. Impressive that Jackson Porter's lap time has held up. Drew Waltz jumps up. Julian Rivera is up there. He's still yet to put his second lap in. He's a little further down the grouping. Alessandro Truchot again up into the top 5. Ashton Woon has jumped up. And they've still got at least 2 more laps if they're going to get the same number that the first group got here in qualifying. So we'll keep our eye on all of them as, again, the track is still overcast, but no more rain. So right now that second group still does have the advantage as we got one more that's just tagged the barrier here on the front stretch. That is the 34 machine, one of the other Kart Republic entries on the field.
Xander and I scrolling through Race Hero here to try to find it.
There's just so many new faces, obviously. You're trying to identify who you've got. Because there's just so many different names here. Oh, that is Julian Rivera. That was your driver in 4th. We were looking a little bit further down, so that is the driver who has clocked in the 4th quickest time. and is now not going to be able to improve on that. But that's still a solid run, hoping it'll hold here for the final two.
Yeah, he only got the 2 laps in, Xander.
Yeah.
You talked about it. As Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA now goes P1, 57.441 right now for Truchot. Fernandez still second. Ashton Woon up into the 3rd spot. Driver out of Arizona goes P3. Drew Waltz in 4th. Jackson Porter, fastest of the first group, holding on to P5 as the second group continues to circulate.
Yeah, the second group continue to work their way around. The checkered flag should be coming here very, very soon, of course, as they get to the final few laps. It looks like everyone's on slick tires, and again, I think that's why some of these guys, when they tag the outside curbs, we noticed another thing during that SSKC event that also got some rain is these outside curbs, the divots are deep enough, they do hold the water. Like I mentioned, the water sits on the surface, it goes just even a couple inches down, so even though the track may be dry, you touch a wheel, you're going through a puddle on the outside curbing.
And there's nothing worse than water on paint.
Right.
Except for maybe water on the oily surface. But on that paint, it gets super, super slippery. Checker flag flying here at start finish. Aaron Likens will give him the black and white to cap off the session. Alessandro Truchot still P1, 57.036. But everybody, the tires as hot as they could be throughout this session. We'll see if anybody can pull one out here on lap 4.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it here as the checkered flag flies and they come across. There is Mateus Romalo jumping up the order. Truchot's lap still holding. Final few drivers.
Royce Vega went quicker as well to P5.
Yeah, you're right. So change in the end of the top 5, but Truchot's lap number 4, soon to be enough to hold here for the moment.
Final drivers coming around. I believe that will be it. No, we got drivers still rolling around here. They'll get their final session. No, this will be the last lap. They're done. So indeed, Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA going to come out with the P1 time. 57.036 for Truchot. A 57.616 for Benya Fernandez. His fast lap coming like everybody on lap number 4, final circuit. Ashton Woon in the 3rd spot. Mateus Ramalho in 4th. Royce Vega rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, and a closely packed middle group there, but hey, very impressive for Truchot to put half a second on them here in these intermediate conditions. Kudos to him and the Parolin USA team. Of course, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, qualifying continues to roll on. The next class out on the racetrack, your KA100 Juniors, the first of the 100cc drivers to head to the circuit here. Live from Miami on Kart Chaser and the ECAN Radio Network, it is round 1 of the Superkarts USA Winter Series. Welcome back here to AMR Homestead Miami Motorplex. Rob Howden joins us back in the booth. And Rob, we're about to go racing here. Let's call it. Microswift pre-final coming onto the front straight away.
Yeah, Alessandro Truchot in the Parolin USA machine on the pole position. We're underway. Green, green, green for the first time in the Winter Series into turn number 1, that reconfigured exit. How does it play out? Drivers clean and green so far into turn number 2. Looks like Truchot able to take advantage of that pole position. Xander, he'll lead him down into turn number 4.
Yeah, decently clean start there. It looked, honestly, a lot cleaner than I think everybody expected it to. First start underway with no pushback bumper penalties. The Micros still driving pretty clean so far to turn number 5. Truchot, your leader here as they come out of the infield. About a 6-car length gap back, and I believe maybe Benja Fernandez there has slotted into 3rd. We have one of the other Bennick entries right behind him. That looks to be Tristan Murphy. And yeah, honestly, a pretty clean first half lap.
Yeah, nicely done for the Microswift drivers. I want to say that might be Ashton Woon, I think, up in the Nitro into the 2nd spot. Benya Fernandez, who started on the outside of the front row. Not always the best place to start at this track with 2 left-hand corners after the green flag.
Yeah, definitely not the best. But here with the first lap completed, everyone will make it through the final corner. And again, nice gap beginning to build here for Alessandro Truchot down at turn number 1. A bit more of a gaggle behind him, but it is a healthy lead here for Alessandro Truchot headed back to turn number 4.
Indeed, Truchot out to a decent little advantage here, probably about 8 and 9 cart lengths as they work their way out of the first of the 2 hairpins, turn number 4 and turn number 5. Hairpin back down to a shorter straightaway into that right-hander. When we go in the opposite direction, coming back to rounds 3 and 4, that's going to be a really big passing opportunity. Still that good move down to the inside there before they lead themselves through turn number 6 into the 7-8 combination. I love that inner loop Xander here, the double apex right-hander. I just love that. I love when guys are able to cut it tight, hug it, and get the pass done before they get over to 9.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, the passing and racing in that section was already great here, and now with the track being almost feeling like a little bit narrower and not being able to clip the curbs, they're having to slow down a little bit more. And as you know, Rob, any braking zone, if it's long enough, it's a passing zone.
One driver coming off the front straightaways you saw there, but indeed, exactly that. The longer it is, there's that driver off there on the front straightaway. Number of drivers having trouble. It seems to be the big issue right now, getting on the rumbles on a turn number 12, just getting into that grass, and they're along for the ride after that.
Yeah, you know, there's some tracks where they make those rumble strips kind of fall off a little bit when they put them in, like Newcastle Motorsports Park, their exit curbs drop off almost a few inches. Here, that's not really the case. They tried to make them flat and flush, but they hold so much water still. That's the biggest thing. They touch the water, and then the cart just goes straight off with the way the momentum goes, takes them into the mud, and then from there, they're just a passenger. We saw a couple of heavy impacts while you were gone, and luckily everyone has been okay. No red flags, beautiful racing, beautiful qualifying, and a great start here. Beautiful view for Alessandro Truccio, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, Keon Truccio in the Parolin USA entry. Good run out of turn number 12 across start finish, back down into turn 1. You see the advantage he has there. Ashton Woon now has Benja Fernandez at number 12 closing up. Another driver looping. Coming out of the corner, another driver coming off as well. We have a lot of drivers struggling coming through turn number 12. We talked about that. Did you pick the number up yet?
That was the 19 of Drew Waltz. He was 13th at the line. Oh, man, he's going to drop all the way down to 35th or so, 20-plus spots, and we just got the update from Neil Strickland on the Skusa update. So, again, we already mentioned we're going to be burning through the lunch break. We're going to have continuous racing all day long to try and beat the sunset. The pre-finals have been cut 2 laps shorter. They were originally going to be 12 and then 10 for the micros and minis. They're going to be 10 across the board. The main events were going to be 22 and 20. They will now be, I believe, 20 for all classes except for mini and micro. They will run 18.
Yeah. And you're saving a couple, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Every one of those sections going to give us that potential hour we need after the rain this morning. More drivers having trouble again. That one, I believe, might have been the number 12 of Fernandez having trouble.
That was. Yeah, Benja Fernandez pushing there. 3rd place across the line. Got a little bit sideways. We're keyed in on that because Alessandro Truccio has started to set sail just a little bit. In fact, you'll watch him come out of turn at number 4 here. That gap continuing to grow back to Ashton Woon and Benja Fernandez. So, again, Truccio leading the way here into turn number 5. Nice and healthy margin back there to Ashton Woon and Benja Fernandez, who Fernandez, even with that little bobble in the final turn, only about a cart length away, starting to put some pressure on Woon.
As Xander, drivers really dancing the razor's edge coming out of turn number 12. They're all pushing so hard. It's a very fast part of this racetrack. You're down to the end of the longest straightaway here. You're trying to carry so much momentum, and you just get a little wide, maybe a little shallow on the entry. That's why they're getting that wider exit. They got to be smart and hold on. Here comes Truccio. He's nailing it nicely. Gets about half of that rumble. Really good run out of the corner. Ashton Woon still charging, but you can see a really good run through there for Truccio on the Parolin.
Yeah, and again, you can just see the rear end of those carts, as soon as they touch the rumble strip, it doesn't want to do what the front end wants to do. The front end's turning the wheel left to get back straight. The rear end, there it goes, another driver just through the mud, and that angle we got there just is perfect to see.
Well, you can say they lose the rear end, then they correct, because they're losing the rear end, and it brings the front still biting.
Yes.
It brings them off to the racetrack. So tough part of this track, and these drivers are eventually going to figure it out. They'll dial it in, but there's still that moisture there in the grass on the outside of 12.
No, again, very tricky, but as you mentioned, they'll continue to learn here. Again, we talk about this being the youngest class. For some of them, might be their first time here to the racetrack. For almost all of them, their first time racing on a big level with the new runoff, with the different curbings, and they've only had, a couple days of practice, but racing's way different than practicing, as you know, Rob.
Here comes Truccio again. You look at, he's not even using that exit curbing. Good job for him. He'll be rolled back into 1. Here's that fight for 2nd and 3rd now. Ashton Woon, little defensive to the inside, coming into 1. The Nitro Kart driver pulling about a cart width over to the left side of the racetrack, and Fernandez on the Kart Republic hanging right there with them. Xander, good battle here for P2.
No, very good battle there for the 2nd spot again. Fernandez, like you said, he's just pushing. He's right now in a prime starting spot again. He lined up, on the outside of the front row. Now finds himself where he'd be inside row number 1. Maybe he just wants to sit there,
I was going to say, what do? You go to 2nd again and worry potentially about getting shuffled to the outside, or do you say, you know what, 3rd's good for me? I don't mind starting right behind Truccio for the main event. That's a really good observation.
See, the thing that, that's all great in theory, right? And until a penalty happens or someone gets thrown on tech in front of you, and you're like, man, I could have passed this guy. I could have passed him 7 laps ago, but I didn't, and now I'm still in 2nd.
Well, one thing we don't have to worry about is pushback bumper. Those penalties aren't going to be coming in to mess things around. That's the one thing we'll know for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So
Wound stretching out a little bit there, maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 cart lengths down into turn number 1, the 1-2 complex, the double apex kind of left-hander, back to the right hand of turn 3, then the run down to the first hairpin. And it looks to be like Ashton Woon here, kind of midway through this race, able to stretch away a little bit.
Yeah, Ashton Woon just able to kind of hit his mark. You saw him take a little bit further back from Alessandro Truccio right now, which is currently on your screen. But we go back to that battle here. He had taken a look over his shoulder coming out of turn number 4 that time just to watch the gap, just to make sure he was doing okay, and he hasn't made any mistakes since. He's added about another half cart length as they head towards the back 90s. It's maybe 3 or 4 cart lengths, but they're still a couple seconds back from this guy.
A couple of shout-outs too. Rocco Simoni up 7 spots, 11th up to 4th, and then inside the top 10 as well. Julian Rivera started 17th into the top 10. That's a solid recovery in a pre-final when you're qualifying outside the top 15. You can work your way into the top 10.
No, that's exactly what you need. It's impressive for Rocco Simone because he has just gotten through a little bit of traffic there in the form of Royce Vega back for 4th and 5th. We saw them at the end of the tandem when we were looking at Benja Fernandez and company. But Alessandro Truccio, of course, your leader, coming out in turn number 4. Then a little more contact right by us. In fact, someone just lost a rear bumper.
Yeah, rear bumper off. They'll see the meatball flag for that. Contact coming out of the corner, grabbed that rear bumper, ripped it right off. And indeed, that was just more of the carnage we're seeing as drivers struggle with this final corner of the racetrack.
Yeah, we'll look back to some of these midfield battles here. That's what we've kind of got on your screen, just about midway through the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's Cameron Marcia. He just made a move by Daniel Miron Lorente, so that was about a lap ago. So indeed, that's, I believe, Marcia in the number 14 into 6th.
Yeah, good catch there, Rob. Here again, white flag, though, going to come this time by for the race leader as they work their way down the front straightaway. 1 lap to go. We'll keep an eye here on the last lap, kind of 50-50 between Alessandro Truccio and, of course, that battle for second as Fernandez kind of closed back up. Went purple that time, you're right. Purple, 54.431 for Benja Fernandez, so he'll have a shot at him. Maybe not turn 4, maybe if he can get close enough, turn number 5. As we see them just the edge of your screen, you're watching Truccio come down to 5. We'll switch back here as we get closer and keep an eye on that battle for second as well.
Well, here's what happens. What does Woon do? Does he start going on the defensive? Does he start running some defensive line that's going to allow Fernandez to close? It's only a cart length now through the midsection of the racetrack. A little tighter through there, Xander, for Woon. He's strong still through turn number 9. Coming into 10 and 11, it's going to be the run down the straightaway, and it looks to me Fernandez about 2, maybe 2.5 cart lengths coming out of 11.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit too far. We'll go back to the lead, though, while we battle for them. Alessandro Truccio across the line, checkered flag. He'll win the pre-final in Micro Swift over Woon Fernandez. Here comes your field on by. At the end of your top 5 there, Rocco Simone, as you mentioned, good drive forward, Royce Vega, Cameron Marcia, Daniel Maroon Lorente, and Mateus Romalo, I believe, shuffled just inside to the top 10. He was starting a little bit higher as they came across. Semi Martinez into 8th, Julian Rivera 9th, so he's up 8 spots. Romalo started higher, fell back, still remains inside the top 10. He can fight from there, though. That's row 5. That's not terrible.
Agreed.
Into the final.
Hey, you're in the top 10, especially if there's any kind of chaos in the opening couple of corners. You can find a way. You can get yourself into a spot to get up into that top 5, top 6, and we've seen that before in micro. We'll get that potential lead group developing, but Alessandro Truccio, totally taking advantage of the pole, was able to stretch away to a nice little win, 2.8 seconds over what was a 10-lapper. That's a pretty solid race win for Truccio.
No, absolutely. A dominant win here to kick off the weekend. Again, we talk about confidence here. This could be Truccio's year, and again, that's what they're looking at. They had a great year last year. He'd podiumed, he'd run up front, he got onto the box at a number of different places.
Agreed.
Now he's looking for championships, just like you said, Rob.
His time in the spotlight, right? For sure.
Well, we're going to, again, switch it on back here to the racetrack. While they clear it, we'll go to commercial break. So the Supercarts USA Winter Series, round number 1, our first pre-final is complete. And again, as they take a look here to get the micros cleared on out, when we come back, more racing to come. Your K8100 Juniors lined up and set to go. Stick with us, folks, live on Facebook and YouTube on all the Kart Chaser platforms. Welcome here live from AMR Motorplex. We are live on our members only premium subscription, Just Going Green, with your micro Swifts here. Alessandro Truccio with a great start. Clean start, didn't lose anyone in turn number 1. Benja Fernandez slots into second. And as they work their way through turn number 5 here and out over through 6 into 7 and 8, Ashton Woon slots into 3rd. We'll watch the rest of the field work their way around turn 7 and 8 here for the opening lap of the Micro Swift main event. 18 laps in total as we continue to watch them head their way on through. Rob Howden joining me back in the booth here again. Of course, the voice of Supercarts USA. We'll watch them complete lap number 1, get our updated running order. True Show ran away with it in the pre-final, but it's a vastly different racetrack what we got here for the main.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Fully dry racetrack. We're starting to get some rubber down in these corners. We're seeing them carry a lot more corner speed through, but out to a pretty good lead already. 0.7 of a second, Xander, for Alessandro Truchot on the parallel. And we talked about the graduation of drivers moving up levels, right? A lot of drivers from Micro have moved up into the mini category. This is going to allow some guys an opportunity to shine. Alessandro Truchot, your leader right now, strong in the opening circuit.
Yeah, very strong here and already pulling a little bit of a bigger gap by lap number 2. Benja Fernandez still trails him a little further back in the Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic, and you can see from that wide shot that gap almost to a second here on lap number 1. So good out of the gate on cold tires here is Alessandro Truchot over Fernandez and over Ashton Woon, and that's been our top 3 most of the day. We'll head down the backstretch once again, 2 laps complete this time. Battles a little bit further down the order, but nothing for your leading drivers. Truchot leads another one here as your top 3 come by. Oh my goodness! Big contact here. We just switched away, came back right back to it. That was for 4th and 5th. Daniel Lorente, Julian Rivera involved, and possibly Royce Vega and the Benix somehow trying to get around it. That could have been very, very bad.
Yeah, it was Lorente trying to make a move, I think, to the inside of Rivera, climbed up on top, and you can see the cart go up in the air. Both those drivers coming down hard and able to hold on. That's going to allow Truchot and Fernandez to pull away, as well as Ashton Woon. That was 4th, 5th, and 6th, making things super exciting here at start-finish.
Yeah, very, very exciting stuff here. Alessandro Truchot, though, nothing but a calm and collected race out front. We look back to 2nd and 3rd. Ashton Woon reeling in Benja Fernandez a little bit. Both drivers losing ground. And since that shakeup for 4th, it's given a nice and healthy gap to, I don't know if that's Royce Vega who's moved by or one other. We'll watch the parallel come around the final corner. It is the number 91 machine.
That's Rocco Simoni from Canada.
All the way back from 7th or 6th last time by, moves up into the 4th position, so he avoids all that carnage, gets gifted a P4 for the moment here, and he's got himself a nice little gap to work with as well, while the top 3 continue to separate. Truchot, your leader here, headed for turn number 5.
Yeah, Rocco Simoni, the number 91, actually now living in Tampa. Good run thus far, just turned his fast lap like everybody else has. Alessandro Truchot, though, up front right now. Good start for Truchot as he's looking to start off his 2021 season. They grab an opportunity to maybe go for a big race win here, championship as well. Good way to start it off with that first win in the books. We'll see if Truchot can get the job done. Still a lot of laps to go. We're just early in this one here. Again, Micro Swift brought to you by Trinity Karting Group. He's got a lead of about 1.8 seconds. We may see a fight, though, for second as Ashton Woon, who runs in 3rd right now. Last time by about a 10th quicker than Benja Fernandez. Their gap there between the 2 drivers, just 0.6 of a second. Driver off the racetrack here, right in the middle of spin, coming onto the front straightaway. Wow, that was the number 93 who made contact with the barriers coming out. Justin DeLucia in the 93, touching the barriers on the exit of turn number 12 and got backwards coming up on the straightaway. Everybody able to cleanly through. So good to see that. Maybe a little bit of a chaos averted there. 2.2 seconds the lead for Truchot out front. We'll watch this next group of drivers here. That's about 5th on back, I believe. I think that's going to be Lorente, Vega, Martinez, Rivera, Pettit, and Masha all in the fight there as well. Not too far back is Jackson Gibson. There's your leader, Truchot. Got that head ducked down. Here's that big gaggle of carts I talked about coming down the back straightaway. Right in there is Pettit. Royce Vega on the Bendick leading the way of that group in 8th spot in the number 33 rather. It's Travis Pettit on the solo cart, number 29, trekking down from the northeast. He runs in the 9th spot ahead of Maxwell Masha. Truchot strong in the position out front, though. Trying to do exactly what he did in that pre-final. That was get out front, get away, and just run those really strong laps. Rocco Simoni actually went purple the last time by, the number 91, a 53.886 for Simoni, running P4. Truchot, though, out by a 2.4 second lead. Out of turn number 12 once again. Look at that lead for Truchot, the Parolin USA driver. Great way to start the season. There's a battle for the second spot right now. P2 scrapping it out. Ashton Woon and Fernandez. I think Woon has made the move by. They'll work their way down to turn number 4. There's your leader. But indeed, Ashton Woon in the Nitro Kart has got into the second spot. Ashton Woon out of Scottsdale, Arizona, the West Coaster, coming over here to be part of the Superkarts USA Winter Series. Yellow flag flying start finish, and incident off of the outside of turn number 1. There's that driver there off in turn 1. I believe that looks to me like the number 85 who was involved in that incident. Scrolling through the numbers here to find out who the 85 was. Again, that's the driver off over in turn number 1. We'll try to update you. Oh, that's Daniel Lorente. Lorente was running P6, and that kart's in the barriers on the outside at turn number 1. They've got that cleaned up. Good job by our crew to pick him up. There goes Simone to the inside. One more spot. Simone to the inside of Fernandez. Book it. Wow, Rocco Simone in the 91 driver on the move right now. He has gone into P3. Simone, the transplanted Canadian, now living in Florida, to 3rd. Tremendous racing throughout the field here in this Micro Swift category. Picking up Rocco Simone right there. Battle further back. That's that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th battle. So many good drivers in that fight as well. Through the inner loop of this racetrack, that's Pettit. Travis Pettit's worked his way up to 6th position, getting by Royce Vega. So that white and blue machine, the Solo Kart USA entry of Travis Pettit, started 11th. He's worked his way now up to 6th spot. There's Pettit there in the 29, back onto the front straightaway. Right behind him, Royce Vega, and then Cameron Marcia. Cameron Marcia in 8th. Troy Ferguson actually up there in the 43. I had said it was Royce Vega, was actually the 43 of Troy Ferguson. Started 17th, Ferguson, and he has got himself up into 7th. Great job here for Troy Ferguson. Truchot, though, in the 17, coming through the inner loop. This is just going everything aces for Truchot. 4 seconds now the leader for Truchot. Purple last time by a 53.842. Still not quite to the halfway point of our extended main events. Take an opportunity to say hello to those of you who are now premium subscribers for Kart Chaser, signing up to be part of their subscription service. Great to have you with us. My name's Rob Howden. The whole crew here at Kart Racer enjoying the day so far. Xander Clements, of course, and Caleb Smock have spent time with me here in the booth. And we are underway with main events. Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA out as the leader. Halfway point last time by. In fact, the rest of the field getting the crossed halfway flags at start finish. 9 more laps to go for Truchot, 4.5 second lead. Ashton Woon in 2nd, Rocco Simone in 3rd. The gap there only about a half a second. Simone was quicker by 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second. Rocco Simone closing in now here on Ashton Woon, potentially for 2nd. Simone on the Burrell Art for Motaz Sport. Simone. I'll pick that up to make sure that I'm right on the chassis there. No, actually, Simone's on a Parolin in the number 91. I had said the Burrell, but indeed on the Parolin for Simone. So we may see a Simone Parolin 1-2 as Simone just went purple, in fact. Good scrap here for 2nd spot. There's Truchot, 2nd behind him. That's that battle for 2nd. Strong fight for P2. Truchot clean. Try to pick up that battle for P2. Woon and Simone lining things up. There it is, and Simone's through. The 91 of Simone has got by Woon. We pick it up just after the pass in turn number 5. Excellent job there for Rocco Simone, who has now gone into 2nd. It's a Parolin USA 1-2. You see that battle further back as they come out at turn number 11. Let's see if Woon can fire it back up. Thinking about going to the inside. No, he'll stay to the outside. Both drivers clean through turn 12. That's the fight for 2nd. Rocco Simone, who started in 4th, settled in nicely to the position, has advanced his way forward now to 2nd and gets a good run through turns 2 and 3. Opens up that gap a little bit. Woon not let him get away. Hey, behind them is Benja Fernandez as well in the Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic. He's not done either. Fernandez sees the fight in front of him, trying to dial things up. In fact, he was quicker than Woon by about 0.4 of a second. Last lap by, Fernandez faster than both Simone and Woon. So watch the scrap develop, but here out front again, Alessandro Truchot with 6 laps to go as he comes across the line, making it look easy here. His opportunity to really battle it out. Truchot real good through 2 and 3. Kart's just been absolutely perfect. He's been very consistent with his lap times. High 53s for Truchot, his best of 53.7. Last time by 53.983. So it's been really consistent for Truchot as the leader. This battle for second, epic though. There's Simone leading. Woon's right there. And I'm telling you, Benja Fernandez closing up as well. Just turned his fast lap of 53.828. Fernandez in the 4th position. Trying to close up. Last time by 0.2 quicker than Woon and Simone. We're going to have ourselves a 3-driver battle, I think, for the final 2 positions on the podium. Again, the first main event of this year's SuperKarts USA Winter Series here at AMR Homestead Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tire. There's the battle there. Look at Fernandez dialing things back in again. Picture in picture for you. We're watching that leader as well. A couple different shots for you. Truchot's lead, get a good look at it. It's long. He's got a solid advantage. 5.8 seconds last time by for Truchot. Simone on lap 10 went purple with a 53.650. But look at this fight for second, third, and fourth. This is the scrap for the final 2 positions on the podium as Benja Fernandez in that Kart Republic for Trinity Karting Group is turning up the wick. Catching up to that lead group for second, third, and fourth. Hold on. Still wide open for the final steps on the podium as they work their way down the back straightaway. Here comes Woon to the inside. Book it. He'll take the spot, but an over-under for Rocco Simone. Simone back to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll try to hold it through turn number 1. No, it's Woon. Woon will take the spot. Comes across the bow from right to left, and he'll hold on to the position. Good fight here for second and third. Ashton Woon, the Arizona driver on the Nitro, back to P2. He did not let Simone pull away after he passed. Simone was very strong midway through the race. Was able to get by to take that position, but Woon went nowhere. Hung around, got a good feel for Simone, was able to stay right with him, use that draft, and he has benefited by that approach to go back to P2 here with about 4 laps remaining. Truchot's lead 6.2 seconds as he went purple again last time by. We're keying on this awesome fight for second spot though. Ashton Woon on the Nitro. And Benja Fernandez at the tail of that group. Big run for Fernandez coming down the straightaway. He's going to look to the inside of Simone to turn number 1. Fernandez, book it. Benja Fernandez goes to P3. Did they go a little too high on the tire pressures for Rocco Simone? He has not been able to hold that same pace. Benja Fernandez now into third. He's thinking about P2 as well. I told you, 2 to 3/10 quicker than both those drivers over the last couple of laps. The kart of Fernandez definitely coming in. Spoke with Sean Bailiff from the Trinity Karting Group yesterday. Very happy to have a handful really of new cadet drivers under the Trinity Karting camp, and they are looking good here in Micro as Benja Fernandez now running in the third spot. He gets a great run coming out of turn number 11 though to 12. Maybe an over-under, tries the outside. They're closing up now on the number 72, a slower kart. Here goes Fernandez to the inside of Woon, and he will take over P2. Move Fernandez to second. Benja Fernandez to second spot as he gets by first Simone and then Woon. 2 laps remaining here for the drivers in Micro Swift, brought to you by Trinity Karting Group. And Fernandez now runs second. Woon in third. Rocco Simone fourth. Samuel Martinez fifth. Cameron Marcia sixth. Seventh is Travis Pettit. Eighth, Troy Ferguson up 9 spots, as was Jackson Porter up 9 to ninth. And Royce Vega rounding out the top 10. I don't think we're done yet here with this fight because Ashton Woon is not done at all. He is right there with Fernandez. Leader across the line to get the white flag. One more lap for Truchot. Here goes Woon to the inside. He'll take the spot. Ashton Woon back to second. Rocco Simoni not close enough to take advantage of it. He'll try to go to work here as well. Maybe 3 wide to turn 2. Simoni to the inside. He'll put Fernandez back. Simoni to third. What a great move there for Simoni. He's going to go to second potentially. Thinks about it in turn number 4. No. So indeed, it's still Woon in second. Fernandez trying the outside run on Simoni. Not quite enough. Well, can he beat him to turn 6? He does not. Back through 7 and 8 right now. It is still Woon holding on to the position. Truchot, though, the leader out front. Let's pick up the leader here now as he's going to come around the final part of this racetrack. Down the back straightaway comes the leader, Truchot, and he is going to win it. Truchot with the victory. Double checker from Aaron Likens. And the win goes to Alessandro Truchot. Here's the fight to the very finish. Ashton Woon with second, and Rocco Simoni just getting by Benja Fernandez on the final circuit. Here comes the remainder of the field. It'll be Samuel Martinez for Parolin as well in the 37, getting 5th. Cameron Marcia 6th, Travis Pettit in 7th, Troy Ferguson 8th, Jackson Porter 9th, and Royce Vega across the line to finish in the 10th position. Our Micro Swift drivers putting on a heck of a show to start things off here for main events of the opening round of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series here in Homestead. Truchot with the win. The margin of victory, 8.591 seconds. Dominant run for Alessandro Truchot. Ashton Woon, Rocco Simoni, and Benja Fernandez put a show on for all you guys watching on Kart Chaser. What a heck of a fight that was. Woon comes home with the win, having fallen back to 4th place at a time. Woon in second. Rocco Simoni will round out the top 3, the podium finishers. And again, Benja Fernandez and Samuel Martinez capping off the top 5. What a great way to start our main events here in what is now a sunny Homestead, Florida. It's been a great day so far. We got a lot more main events for you. 7 more mains set to come here this afternoon. Glad you're tuning in to Kart Chaser, folks. Great day so far. It's time to cut to a quick break. When we get back, KA100 Jr. will drop the gloves for main event number 1.